Hello there, everyone, whoever might be wandering upon my website at this point in the day. Today we are going to be looking at J.R.R. Tolkien, or Jean Ronald Raoul Tolkien. He was born in 1892 in South Africa. He had a typical childhood, except his father died when he was 4, in the year 1896, and then 8 years after that, his mother died in 1904. Before his mother died, she had moved back to the West Midlands of England with Ronald and his brothers, where he saw many different aspects of life. At times they were poor, at times they were more of the quintessential rural community. And then when his mom passed away, a father from the church took them in and raised them. The next notable point in his life is when he graduated from Oxford with a first-class degree in 1915. He then married his wife Edith in 1916, and after that he promptly went to the Western Front in the war to fight. And there he got the disease trench fever, and it's a very psychologically debilitating disease. And he went back to England and remained hospitalized for a while until he could function well enough to be back with Edith. And from there he worked at Oxford at times. He got his degree in linguistics. He mastered languages like Latin and Greek from a very young age. He was a marvel when it came to linguistic work. And I believe that is the driving force in what brought him to the world of fantasy. What brought him to be able to create Middle-earth and all its complexities and all its fullness to the structured degree that he has. I think that came from this sense of structure that he got from studying language, from this sense of completion and this very thorough understanding of language led to this ability to create worlds. I think it's an incredible point. I think he was driven by that ability to work with language in such a way. And we look at his first major work that took off the ground, that people just fell in love with, The Hobbit. It was published in 1937, towards the latter half of the Great Depression. And it was such a hit because you had this time in American life and in European life where people weren't happy. It was a hard time. People didn't have jobs. People were hungry. People were starving. It was the worst economic disaster that the world has seen. And this novel comes out that just brings everyone back to their childhood. That a world of hobbits, a world of fantasy, a world of adventure, a world of a very small protagonist winning the day, defeating evil, defeating the enemy. And it took these people out of the hurt. When they were reading Tolkien, they weren't thinking about how hungry they were. When they were reading Tolkien, their kids weren't complaining about how cold it was. Everyone's just immersed in the story in a fascinating way that incredibly impacted the culture and impacted the society. I don't know that The Hobbit would have taken off the way that it did if the context of the Great Depression wasn't there. I think the Great Depression shaped this need for fantasy. The Inklings writing their fantastic works was fueled by this need for fantasy, this love for the parallel world where heroes win and heroes go on adventures. I think Tolkien's work in The Hobbit just exploded because of where the world was, in such pain and in such anguish. The world of Middle-earth was a dream that they could go to whenever they needed to. So I think that's the leading The leading reason that Tolkien's work went so well is the Great Depression. I think that's the context it was necessary for such a work to be accepted and be loved. That's a contextual understanding of the world of Middle-earth.